Hello again, cadets. Combo Breaker is done and we are about to head out to CEO, so it's time for another Heavenly Parasite update video. We gained a great deal of battle data from Combo Breaker and it's led to quite a few changes. Although seen as a bit overtuned, Keenan is actually playing very much the way we hoped he would, and we think a lot of the problem is just that Dragon Blade Ice is too good. There is one part of Keenan's kit that we thought needed adjusting, his portal kick. Before, Keenan could use this ranged overhead attack to close out rounds with very low risk. We made the initial hit of this move no longer hit overhead, but it's now faster and has a teleporting overhead follow-up, giving Keenan a way to get in that doesn't rely on weapon attacks. Keenan also lost a knockdown on his sliding held weapon attack. Mr. Runner-up himself, Bert is clearly the second best character at the moment. HTT Priestess expertly demonstrated that Bert has a couple of moves that are far more difficult to outplay than we anticipated. His flame wall has been reduced in duration and size, so that now you can slide under it and jump over it more easily. His long flame attack and his teleport explosions have reduced hitbox durations now, making them much easier to dodge. In compensation, we also gave Bert much better ability to jump after using his air fireball, so it can be used much more aggressively now. The biggest surprise of Combo Breaker 2025 for us was Mr. Chig's amazing third place finish with Lenny. Lenny is getting a mix of buffs and nerfs this time. We've lowered the damage on his back held weapon attack. Sorry about that. His command grab now has a smaller hitbox. His electrical bolt attack is now reflectable and destroyable, so you need to be more careful on how you use it. On the positive end, we've increased the range of his swayback tail attacks and his advancing tail swipes. We've also sped up how fast he recharges his energy whip. His charged whip spin now releases 2 bolts that will each seek out a separate one of your drones if you have them on the field. And lastly, his regular fireballs now linger in place longer and no longer move forward, making them work a bit better as traps or defensive walls. We fixed a small issue with her air dash hurtbox, but otherwise Ruth is totally perfect. We've given Carl faster weapon attacks. A fast way back on his back held weapon attack, his ground spike now launches, and his energy drain attack drains more energy. Roxanne got her fireball reworked. The tab can now function as a feint, or you can use a quick burst of flame as a poke, and it also destroys projectiles. The hold fireball travels full screen, and the startup destroys projectiles. Finally, her powered up fireball destroys small projectiles the whole time, is bigger, and does more damage. She also got a new 2-hit low that launches the enemy and has better coverage on her powered snowflakes. Her non-powered snowflakes are a little faster, but are also now deflectable. Lastly, we've made the animation much more apparent when Roxanne changes her temperature. Blaine has been off his game lately, but he's doing much better now. He got better range on his command grab and advancing weapon attacks, and a new, fast, ground explosion style fireball replacing his old ground crawling one. His airdrop is now much harder to punish, and his shield charge has been heavily revamped. It's now faster, harder to punish, and leads to a better wall bounce, but it's no longer armored throughout the whole attack. Lastly, his defensive game has been much improved, with armor frames on his back weapon, down back weapon, airdrop, shield charges, and dash overhead. Thank you, Hasserus, for trying so hard to make Blaine work at Combo Breaker. I think you'll like him a whole lot better next time you play. Thank you, and apologies to Radical Dreamer who tried hard to make Lois work this Combo Breaker. If she had been more polished, it's likely that you would have placed much higher this year. Lois had the most changes of all the characters. Her stance switches are cleaner and faster now. Her inhale form has gotten a number of new moves with an emphasis on plus on block attacks that she can use to bully the opponent. We've also tried hard to have her 2 forms mirror each other more closely visually. The hope is that even if her 2 forms don't truly play that similarly, they'll both feel more natural to your hands. Being able to say, find your anti-air in the same ocean regardless of which stance you're in, helps make her feel less confusing. We've also added a warning glow that indicates when you're out of breath and should probably change stances. There is also now an additional penalty if you fail to change stances often enough. Your team energy will begin depleting. Even with this nerf, we think Lois is stronger than ever. We've beefed up Lynn's mirror. It's now not able to be shattered by enemy attacks. It also shoots once on its own, even if it never absorbs a fireball. And we got rid of that infinite that Mr. Hasserus was clever enough to find. Of course, we nerfed Ahab's dreaded crab. It only has a single shorter hit per appearance now, with a much smaller hitbox, but we also significantly sped up Ahab's level 1 attack, the floor vines. We were happy to see how popular Eugene was this year with his upgraded homing viruses, so we decided to replace his much less popular level 2. It now releases a cloud of small viruses that home in on the enemy. The biggest general change is to the charge mechanic. It's now able to be held as long as you like, and the meter gain accelerates the longer you hold it. Thanks to Chigs for suggesting this mechanic. It feels much better. You can charge your team meter much faster with this change, or use it briefly to try to entice your opponent to attack. We've made meter gain and loss much more fluid in general. Drain attacks all drain meter faster now, and Flo and Roxanne's vampire moves now restore more meter and do it more quickly. Next is an improvement to the push block style wave move. We were happy to see this move being used a bit more and think that its tactical options are still mostly unexplored. We've now given it the ability to interfere with small projectiles. The wave now stops fireballs briefly, potentially disrupting your opponent's attack patterns. One thing we're still seeing less of than we would have liked is supers. We decided that we could try to make them a little easier to earn. You can now earn multiple super points by hitting with separate weapon attacks throughout a combo. Now the thought bubble options are displayed under your fighter at match start, and you simply hold a direction to use one of them. On the first round of each set, each player can hold left to select button check. This turns off the clock and stops the players from hitting each other so they can easily check their buttons before the match. Players can simply kneel for a few seconds to start the match, or press start and adjust their buttons. In case you forget to use the button check system, we decided to also add a restart match option on the pause menu that resets a match the first round quickly so you don't have to go back to the title screen. You guys played wonderfully at Combo Breaker. We can't thank you all enough, especially those of you who helped out during the tournament. Watching the adaptation on display, especially the counter-picking of assists during some of those tournament matches, was a really, really great feeling. Thank you all. Hopefully, we'll see one or two of you down in Florida. Big hearts. Chance and Kala.
Thanks, everybody.